Frankl, Life, Love, Luck, and Automobiles by Andrew Frankl. Narrated by the author, Andrew Frankl. Additional voices by Becky Parker and Rennie Griffiths as Sir Jackie Stewart. Produced by Pro Audio Voices.
Life and Luck. This is a book about luck. After surviving the horrors of World War II, I escaped from communist-controlled Hungary and made my way to Britain. I was 18 at the time. I could never have imagined what would follow. The following 7 chapters reflect my appreciation for everything that has happened to me over the last 75 years, a time that for most part has been full of adventure, excitement and happiness. But I want to start with what I thought at the time was the worst possible luck I ever had. In the summer of 1965, I headed to Brands Hatch, it's a racetrack near London, convinced that fame and fortune beckoned. There was never any doubt in my mind that I was the next Jim Clark, Jackie Stewart, and that my talent was about to be discovered. After paying £5, about $8, for just 4 laps in what you might call a touring car or sedan, it was time to get into a single-seater Formula Ford. Thundering down the start-finish straight, I imagined the adulation, the garlands, the bevy of beauties that no doubt awaited me in the future. But when I pulled into the pits, things turned out somewhat differently. "Sir," said a rather stern-looking instructor, "is there anything else you could do for a living?" "Yes," I said meekly. "Do it," he said, and with that he was off to deal with the next idiot. Although I had been deemed useless behind the wheel, I still loved motor racing, and within a couple of years I had fashioned a life for myself at the track, just not in the car. Dedication. In the summer of 2012, I began to think about writing a memoir. I was 74 years old, but in no hurry. That changed rather abruptly. I was just getting ready to commentate on the London Olympics for Hungarian television. A searing pain in my abdomen sent me to the hospital. The doctors there completely misdiagnosed my infected gallbladder, an error that soon left me in intensive care. Things got so bad that at one point a doctor even suggested to my wife that it might be time to say goodbye, and he most certainly was not referring to the end of visiting us. After 2 miserable weeks, I was able to return to my London apartment, where I watched the Olympics while propped up on a settee. A month later, I regained enough strength to fly back to San Francisco. After a few more weeks of recuperation, I finally had the wretched organ removed. That was in October, and the truly bad news was still to come. That December, my beloved sister Vera, just 62 years old, lost her battle with cancer. Her death, and my brush with it, inspired me to write this book, so I knew that it must be dedicated to her. She was more than my sister, she was an inspiration. Despite arriving at the age of 6 from Hungary, she grew up to be a fearless and feisty award-winning radio journalist working for the BBC. I also want to recognize the rest of my family, the most important people in my life. To my parents, who I absolutely cherished and who sacrificed so much to give me and Vera a new life outside communist Hungary. To my children, Nicholas and Annabelle, who have given me more pleasure than I can possibly recount, and who together run a very successful global events company. To my mother-in-law, Paula, who was there at the very beginning, and today, at the age of 104, gives me hope for a long and happy life. And finally, my wife Susie, the love of my life. I had to wait 40 years to marry her, but could not be happier. Andrew Frankl, 10th of January, 2015.
Forward. Sample complete. Ready to continue?